Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a very special episode of Easy Buckets. How y'all doing today? In today's video, we're going to be talking about the off-season plans for the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics just lost in the Eastern Conference Finals in Game 6 to the Miami Heat. But I'll be completely honest with you guys. I thought the Boston Celtics would win the series and go to the NBA Finals. And the fact that the Miami Heat beat them, it's really surprising because this Boston Celtic team, they're disgusting. The young guns of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, NBA All-Star Kemba Walker, role players like Marcus Smart, Gordon Hayward, how can this team not go to the NBA Finals? The point is though, even though they failed this year, they're just gonna keep getting better and better and better. Because I'm telling you now, the Boston Celtics aren't going anywhere. But still, the fact that they lost means that there's always room for improvement, and that's why this video is perfect for those Boston Celtic fans out there. And Danny Ainge, if you're watching this video, take some notes, because I got some good ideas for you. If you guys don't know who Danny Ainge is, he is the Boston Celtics general manager. But before I get into the video, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and love basketball, welcome to Easy Buckets. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos every single day. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click this button right here, the notification bell, to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched the video and agreed to everything I said, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. It would really help out the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, we're going straight into the Boston Celtics this offseason and plans to make them better. When talking about the Boston Celtics and what they can do to get better, I'll be honest, they don't have to do much. But there is a reason why I believe Danny Ainge might be making some moves due to specific roster limitations. Going into this year, the Boston Celtics have a great deal of draft picks. They have a total of 4 draft picks, having 3 in the first round and 1 in the second round. In the first round, they got the 14th overall pick, which they got from the Memphis Grizzlies, the 26th pick, which is their own, and the 30th pick, which they got from the Milwaukee Bucks. And in the second round, they have the 47th pick from Brooklyn. Danny Ainge is known to be a general manager that doesn't really draft a young prospect due to what the Boston Celtics needs. He usually drafts players that have the best potential overall and not just looking for positioning. So when it comes to the Boston Celtics, expect Danny Ainge picking the best possible player available at that draft spot. But when talking about why the Boston Celtics are so good, it's because of their versatility and how they have multiple options on offense when it comes to their backcourt and their wing players. Having 5 different scoring options of Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Jason Tatum, the Boston Celtics depth chart is unbelievable. So we're looking at their weakest area on their roster, and what they could definitely easily improve on is definitely in the front court. Daniel Theis is a pretty good center. He's not amazing, and they could definitely find a better player to fill that spot. So that's why I believe in this year's NBA draft, expect the Celtics may be looking for a front court player with the best potential. When talking about key players that could possibly be leaving the Boston Celtics, this year they have Gordon Hayward entering free agency with a player option of about $34 million, and also Enes Kanter entering with a player option of $5 million. When talking about Gordon Hayward, who was an all-star when he was healthy, signed a 4-year max contract with the Boston Celtics 4 years ago, but I'll be honest, his career in Boston has been a roller coaster ride. Suffering a very bad leg injury in the first game of the first year of his contract, Gordon Hayward hasn't been able to live up to that expectation as he was getting when he first signed that deal. I'll be honest though, because of that injury, it definitely hurt Gordon Hayward's career, was a big setback for him, but this season, he's done pretty well. He averaged 17.5 points, 6.7 rebounds, 4.1 assists, shooting 50% from the field goal percentage and 38% from the 3-point line. I do believe Gordon Hayward will opt into this contract to receive that $34 million because I believe Gordon Hayward just wants one more year to prove to the NBA that he's still worth a max contract and just wants to prove that this year when he is healthy, he can still ball. I believe Enes Kanter will opt out of his $5 million contract and sign somewhere else because this year Enes Kanter was a no-show in the NBA playoffs. He got no minutes at all and doesn't seem to be in the rotation. But besides Gordon Hayward and Enes Kanter, most of the key rotational players will be staying. So now let's move on to the priorities of the Boston Celtics. Priority number 1 to me is to give Jayson Tatum a max contract extension. It is clear to everybody and to the Boston Celtics franchise that their best player is Jayson Tatum, not Kemba Walker, and they should build their franchise around him. His attitude, maturity, poise, and skills literally brings a face to the Boston Celtics easily, and he'll definitely be a generational player going forward, and has been given multiple comparisons to Kevin Durant. Jayson Tatum is only 23 years old and has lots of room to grow, and that's why I believe giving him an early contract extension could definitely be good for the team going forward. Jayson Tatum will be entering his final season with the Boston Celtics next year, and giving him a contract extension as soon as possible before he might want to leave is the best solution. And so far, there's been rumors of him getting a 5-year, $200 million deal. That is amazing for Jayson Tatum, getting about $35 to $40 million per year. The second priority is also signing cheap free agents of Brad Wanamaker and Taco Fall, because why not? Brad Wanamaker was great this year. He was a key piece off the bench, giving some decent minutes and being productive in his role. He'll be coming off $2 million and will probably sign a pretty cheap deal just to re-sign for a championship contender. And Taco Fall has been great with the Boston Celtics. Even though he hasn't really played, the fans love him, and he could definitely grow a fan base here. He just needs more time and a better opportunity. Moving over to some free agents I believe the Celtics could target, I believe they should target a frontcourt player that brings veteran leadership, that could be a playmaker, and could also bring a defensive atmosphere. Some players I believe they could target is Tyson Chandler, who'll be a veteran leader for this young team. Aaron Baines, a reunion with Aaron Baines, he was previously a Boston Celtic. Maybe signing a vet of Tristan Thompson, who has won NBA championships and could bring some championship DNA to the squad. And maybe a Mason Plumlee, who could be a spark plug off the bench to be a playmaker and also crash those offensive boards. Because the Boston Celtics are going to have a compact roster in this upcoming season, plus many rookies they'll be drafting, I don't believe they'll be signing a lot of free agents, but if they do, signing one of these might not be a bad idea. So now let's talk about some potential trades the Boston Celtics could make to make their roster better. In this list, I have 3 trades that I believe would benefit the team, and they're all surrounding Gordon Hayward. Although I said before that Gordon Hayward will be opting into this season, I don't believe Gordon Hayward will be re-signing with the team next season when he becomes a free agent. So that's why trading him in this offseason might be the best thing for them before they lose him for nothing. The first trade is trading Gordon Hayward for Kevin Love, who could be a frontcourt player that could space the floor. Kevin Love could bring veteran leadership at that center position and also be a great pick and pop player for the pick and roll situations with Kemba, Marcus Smart, and Jayson Tatum. Kevin Love does not belong in Cleveland, who are a rebuilding team and wants to get a shot at an NBA championship, and the Boston Celtics are perfect for that. A trade offer of Gordon Hayward and their 2021 first round pick might just be enough to land Kevin Love. Another player the Boston Celtics could target is Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz, and that's getting a reunion of Gordon Hayward back in Utah. Rudy Gobert will be becoming a free agent next offseason, and the Jazz are in the same situation as the Boston Celtics. They don't want to lose Rudy Gobert for nothing, and maybe trading him for some future assets like draft picks might be safe for them. If the Boston Celtics can offer up Gordon Hayward, Semi Ojeleye, this year's first round draft pick at the 14th spot, I believe the Jazz might just accept that. And just imagine the Boston Celtics' new starting lineup of Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Rudy Gobert. This would be great offensively and defensively. But an amazing trade scenario that I would love to see is Joel Embiid going to the Boston Celtics. Joel Embiid has been linked to the Boston Celtics on multiple occasions, and him joining this team could give him a better opportunity at a championship. If the Boston Celtics can offer up Gordon Hayward, Enes Kanter, Carson Edwards, their 2020 first round pick, and their 2022 first round pick, the 76ers might actually accept that, as they'll be getting future assets and a wing player of Gordon Hayward. Imagine this new super team of Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Jayson Tatum, and Embiid at the 5. This team would easily win the Eastern Conference. But in conclusion, guys, what's most important to me is I believe the Boston Celtics should give Jayson Tatum a contract extension in this upcoming offseason and just make some small moves to better their roster. But what's most important to me is I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think the Boston Celtics should do this offseason to get better? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But other than that, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you all next time on Easy Buckets. Woo!
How will I be remembered? I got it.